So someone tagged me in this video because I've been doing a lot of videos talking about, I ain't gonna say a lot of videos, but I did a few videos talking about, STDs and people not protecting each other and just not disclosing, certain information before you become intimate with, a partner. But this right here takes the cake. And I think this is why a lot of people don't take the LGBT community seriously, or even people on the left seriously, because of things like this. So the video is just basically saying that this guy was getting kind of intimate with someone, and he was like, I don't have to tell you, of my HIV status. Let's watch this real quick.
Profiles, people don't want to touch you. I remember being on a date with someone, so I brought him back to my place, was like, okay, like, I need to tell you something, like, I'm HIV positive. And I remember he like looked at me. It was like I murdered him. I was like, I thought he was gonna beat the shit out of me. He was like, I can't believe you wouldn't tell me, and like, you gave me HIV, and like was just losing his mind. And I'm like, no, that's not possible. Even if I bled on you, like in an open wound, like that wouldn't happen. I'm undetectable. And like, but he just like didn't want to hear it. Now, like, the way the law goes, like being undetectable, like I really don't have to like disclose my status. Right. And you think about it, like anyone that you meet on your first date or if like you're hooking up, like are you like...
I 100% don't agree with that. Regardless, I know in California, it's not a law that they have to tell you, but I think just being a good person that you would tell someone up front before you even get serious with them. And I understand that there's a stigma to it, that people don't want to touch you, or there's a stigma to stuff with, STDs in general, that people are not going to want to touch you with a 10-foot pole, but that's just what it is. Like you can't say, that you don't have to tell them. The reason why you're not telling them is because you're doing it for you, because for a fact that you telling someone that you have HIV, they're not going to deal with you. Just because, and I understand why. There is a risk to it all. And for you to be like, well, because I'm undetectable, you can never get it. That's not true. Yes, even though you can be undetectable because of the medications you take, but there is still a risk. It's not 100%. So for anybody to be like, you're not going to get it because I'm undetectable, is a complete liar, because there's always a chance of you being able to get it. But not only that, I had to go back and see what they was actually talking about. But I actually did a video about another woman that said this, and I'm gonna play it for you real quick.
Disclosure is my choice. When I disclose and how I disclose and who I disclose to is up to me. I find it so crazy how people are telling me that I need to disclose before I go on a date, that I need to disclose before I kiss somebody. This is the craziest one. Before I even tell them my name. It's not happening. I don't think that it's my responsibility to tell someone that I'm HIV positive if they are treating me as if I'm not.
The only thing that I agree with out of everything she said is treat everyone like they have something until they prove that they don't. And it's absolutely the responsibility of us, men and women, who we decide to be sexually intimate with, to protect those people. Now, I could be wrong. That right there, for her to be like, I don't have to tell you, you do have to. What happened to consent, right? If we're all, everybody talks about consent. Consent this, consent that. You need my consent for this, you need my consent for that. But don't you think you need a person who is not HIV positive? Don't you think that you need consent for them, or giving them the choice if they want to deal with you on that level because you are HIV positive? I think the whole thing is just asinine that people who feel that they don't have to disclose this type of information. Again, I'm not saying that it's trying to beat down on the person, because like I say, I know it's stigmatized, but at the end of the day, it is your responsibility to protect the person you're interested in. And like I say, in that video I said right here, it's my responsibility to protect a partner that I'm going to be sleeping with because this partner doesn't know me. This is why I will always say first dates need to be at the clinic, or you better have your My Chart pulled up. But back to the other dude, I went and found this video, right? I went and found this video, and I was scrolling through the comments, and right at the 46 mark, we're going to hear the whole story because that was kind of chopped up a little bit, but let's just hear the whole thing.
To tell you something, like I'm HIV positive. And I remember he like looked at me, and it was like I murdered him. And he started like getting like very verbally abusive and started freaking out at me. And I'm like, I have this person in my like home. I was like, I thought he was going to beat the shit out of me. And I had to like get him out of my house. He was like, I can't believe you wouldn't tell me. And like
I'm doing that right now.
Yeah. Like, and I'm like, we're trying to educate him. And he's like, you gave me HIV, and like was just like losing his mind. And I'm like, no, that's not possible. Even if I bled on you, like in an open wound, like that wouldn't happen. I'm undetectable. And like, you know, but he just like didn't want to hear it. And like, you know, eventually I got him out of my home, but it was just like, it was so scary. Like, so, you know, there's just like a lot of these things that unspokenly can kind of happen, like it escalates so quickly into like other things too.
That's so sad that people's perception of you as like a person change.
Yes, totally.
Like you're written with
The fact that they allowed him, I'm not even, I don't know his pronouns, so I'm not even going to say that. But the fact that they allowed this person to say these things with no pushback is crazy. It's not okay to invite someone to your home, regardless if you guys are just making out or you guys are actually going to get, you know, completely intimate, physically all the way. You need to let people know, because if this person knew that you were HIV positive prior to you going to the home, he would have never went. He freaked out. He was already scared. This is what I'm saying. You don't know a person's reaction. This is when it goes to, you know, trans rights and trans women saying, you know, they get unalived a lot, you know, and a lot of them say that it's not safe to, you know, disclose that they're trans. Me personally, I think if you give someone, if someone doesn't know you're trans and you get their number, after that, don't try to embarrass that person or try to expose that person. After you guys exchange numbers, you leave wherever you go, get to somewhere, you say you get home or you get in the car and you know you guys are going your separate ways. Then you text that person and let them know like, hey, I'm trans. And then that way you're safe. You didn't, you know, out this person publicly. You didn't try to make a mockery of this person. Like what I do see online, a lot of times people will be, you know, try to out people, or even download men. Other gay men will out, you know, other men who hasn't come out the closet yet. So I think a lot of these things have to be taken in consideration. But just going through the comments, like they're saying pretty much the same thing that I'm saying. You know, they're saying you're interviewing this horrible human without any pushback on his mentality towards informed consent. Like, yes, in order for me to consent properly, I need to be informed about my decision that I'm going to make. But just the fact is, no one gave this person any pushback was crazy. And then they're saying you have to disclose your status regardless. And I'm not talking legally, but from a human perspective. Like, that's exactly how I feel. I think that you would be a shitty person, 100%, to know that doesn't matter what you have, you know, you need to be disclosing this information to your apartment. It would be no difference if, you know, I stealth a woman. Like, she needs to know if she knew that I was going to stealth her, and during intimacy she wouldn't consent to, you know, being intimate with me. And it's the fact that you allow these type of people, and this could just be the fringe on the left, or this could just be, you know, the far, far left, that people believe this, but this is sick for you to be thinking that you do not have to disclose your health to your partner that you're going to be intimate with. That's what comes to being honest. Yes, you're gonna get pushback. Yes, you're gonna get rejected, but I mean, you will find someone who loves you, or find someone who will accept you being HIV positive. But that's not even how you start off a relationship where you're already lying or you are withholding information to your partner. So, like, I think it's crazy. And, you know, people are still, you know, really upset about it. They was like, now if they get punched, people are going to be all about trans hate. Like, yeah, like, what do you think would happen if you told someone this and you already were intimate, or you already were doing certain things that could possibly infect someone else? I understand that you say, like I say, we're going to go back to you saying undetectable means non-transmittable, but that's not 100% true. There's always that little chance that you can be infected. You know what I mean? Like, how do I know, you know, people will not take their insulin medicine, or they forget, you know what I mean? I don't know all the ins and outs of how long that the medicine stays in your system, how many days you can miss, but just common sense or logical, not everybody takes all their medication when they're supposed to take their medication. What happens if you're going through depression right now? Like when you're in depression, people stop eating, they stop doing things to take care of themselves. Like there's so much involved with someone's health. Like you can't play with people like that. And I did another video about, let me see if I can find that video. Like,
so I saw this over on Facebook, and the creator saying that she need to see cash real results because she putting that mouth on my BD. We don't need to see no results.
And this is the thing, like we don't need, like people are literally going around knowing they have these infections and still sleeping with people, and you don't know until you catch them having an outbreak. But it's already too late. Like this, I'm just at a loss of words that we see people doing things like this. And I honestly just think at some point that people just need to, you make your bed, you got to lie in it, you got to own it, and just start being honest with people. There won't be any, I'm not condoning violence, but there will not be any violence if people are just honest with each other. But that's the whole video. I'll make a quick, short video, but y'all protect yourselves out there, for real.